Hi there, warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining the live chat. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes. I have chosen a very interesting topic for tonight's live chat. Topic is not new, but I want to speak on it from a new angle. Let me welcome the participants first, and then I'll try to explain why I chose this topic. Simon Tesfaye is the first viewer who commented. Simon is always first to comment in live chats. Welcome, Simon. Simon says, I think removing Abiy will make the situation even more worse. Well, we're not talking about post Abiy scenario. We're talking about the possibility of removal of the Prime Minister and his government. Free Tia joined too, says hi, Sajid. Peace and love, says good afternoon. Peace and love is a member too. Special welcome to you. Peace and love. We have John says hello. Abel joined too. He says removing Abi is a nightmare. He's a god. Uh, Tom says salam. Welcome Tom. Mihari joined too. Welcome Mihari. Mihari watching my views and news for years. From Tigray he is based abroad. Welcome Mihari. Yini Musica, second member who joined today is Yini. Welcome, Yini. Says Sajid, my friend, thank God for you. I hope you and your family stay blessed. Thank you, Yini Musica. It's good to see you in the live chat. All prayers for you, for your family. I'm fine. Everything fine here. Average Dom says trying to remove Abi is like trying to cut a big rock with a razor blade. It's simply impossible. Why is it impossible, average dawn? When you say it's impossible, why is it impossible? This is the question. Irmias Tiklai says, why are you always against Tigray? Well, Irmias, if I count all your comments in comment section, I have not seen a single comment from you in support of my videos, in support of me. You always criticize me. When people don't criticize me fairly, don't take them seriously. It means they're either misguided, blinded by some prejudice, or they don't have the ability to understand things, or they're working on some agenda. If they communicate with me, I try to explain myself. If they just write negative comments under each and every video, I don't respond. DW Ethiopia says only way they will have a chance to remove Abiy is if they all work together, and that will never happen. Well, that's one of the points which I mentioned in some videos, live chats. But tonight I want to speak on it from another angle, from a different angle. Horner K joined to welcome Horner. Emmanuel Jimenez says, Sajid, give us what you think, your personal opinion on how long Abiy will last in power. Just a personal prediction. Well, I won't give you a prediction, but I will tell you why Abiy is not being removed. What is the reason? And perhaps then you'll be able to see for yourself if Abiy will be removed or not, when, how. Escol says it's rare to find impartial journalism these days. Sajid is one in a dozen. Thank you, Escol. You make it possible. Olik Ali says any possibility that Fano and TDF reach some understanding on Volkite issue and form alliance against Abiy. Let's see, too early to say, but they have been in talks. But Volkite is not an easy issue to be agreed on by the two sides. SASY says, "Hey Sajid, how Abiy is removed? Tell us." Well, I won't tell you how Abiy can be removed. I will just explain how governments were removed in the past. And I'll try to explain the strategy of Ethiopian armed groups. The strategy seems to be flawed, by the way. This video is not an advice for armed groups. People would say you are just advising them how to remove Abiy. Well, they know what they're doing. They know much more than I do. They're fighting on the ground. They don't care about my advice. But I want to, as an outsider, I want to share my views with you. Jafar Jamal joined to welcome Jafar. Prerequisites said, do you think the Debrecen Group, TPLF, and FANU can make alliance when there is unsolved land dispute in Tigray and Amhara? Beanie Man says they will get rid of Abiy if they feel like they're on the losing side of the war. Jacob Jerigo says, what a title. Yeah, it's a shocking title, definitely. But this is what all Ethiopian armed groups want. They want to remove PM Abiy's government. This is what their stated goal is. Why have they not been able to remove the prime minister? What is the reason? Mesfan K joined to Lul Seged Sigai here. Mihari says, why is TPLF always the scapegoat? Look at Ethiopia, economically destroyed, millions of people suffering in every part. Redmond says, it's a rubbish title. Well, Redmond, let's analyze it from an objective perspective. If armed groups have not been able to remove the government, what is the reason? And what are the strengths of the government? Is it because the government is strong, because military with government, or there is a larger uh, picture, perhaps, which is being neglected by those who support these armed groups? Stringer Bell joined to. Let's start, viewers. I would request you to let me speak for a few minutes. We'll keep this live chat short tonight. I'll make myself clear, hopefully, in less than 10 minutes. And then you can express your views. You can ask questions. You can write comments. I'll try to respond to your questions and read your comments, as many as I can. Can I start, viewers? Solomon Wolde joined to D Skywalker here to welcome. D Skywalker says, long time viewer, I enjoy your principled commentary. Thank you, D Skywalker. Mesfin K here to. Let me start, viewers. Let me start. Let me speak for a few minutes, please. Doga Ilma joined. Welcome, Doga. Dark Star here too. Quick to ask a question. Please let me speak, Dark Star, for a few minutes. Ayalio here too. Uh, I'm fine. Somali. Can these Ethiopian armed groups ever remove Ethiopian PM. By the way, it is their stated goal. It's not a secret. Fano groups, they say they want to remove PM Abiy's government. Ola says this government is anti-Oromo government. It should be removed. EPLF was hoping to reach Addis Ababa 2 years ago. It could not remove PM Abiy's government. This video is, this chat is not about capabilities. I won't compare the capabilities of Fano, Ola, TPLF. I'm not talking about their capabilities, that they have the capability to remove PM Abiy or not. No. I am talking. Aman Washer joined. Aman is a member. Special welcome, Aman. Everyone knows. I think a layman can say that these Ethiopian armed groups need to unite. They are fighting individually. They need to form an alliance. Yes. But if they form an alliance, will that guarantee removal of Ethiopian PM Abiy? Alliance is definitely a prerequisite. Everyone knows that Fano alone cannot remove Abiy. Ola alone cannot remove Abiy. Formation of alliance is definitely a prerequisite. But there is more than that, which has not happened so far. Unless this development must happen first, then the government can be removed. There is another prerequisite which has not been born so far. How were dogs removed? How was Haile Selassie removed? How was EPRDF removed? If you analyze the removal of the three past governments, Haile Selassie, Derg, and EPRDF, they were removed differently. I mean, EPRDF was removed through public uprising. Protests went on for over 2 years. Dergs were removed through armed campaign, but not just armed campaign. Haile Selassie was removed by Dergs, military officers, but not just by military officers. One thing is common. If you analyze the removal of the three past governments, that general public got frustrated with the governments of the time, and they took to the streets. They were ready to face the tyranny of the state forces. And they did. EPRDF launched a crackdown on protests. People died. People refused to give in. Dergs were brutal in their use of force against people, against farmers. You saw that. Haile Selassie was challenged by students, teachers, lower level military officers. So atmosphere was created. Atmosphere was changed, was created by the people. Why? Mainly poor economic conditions, lack of freedoms and liberties forced the people to take to the streets, to be ready to die. When this type of atmosphere was created, then armed groups took advantage of it, or some groups in military took advantage of it. Government got weak and Final push was made by either armed groups or by the military, etc. But main push came from the people, general uprising, when atmosphere in the country was conducive to change. People are talking about foreign intervention too. Let's keep foreign intervention aside or foreign support aside. Let's talk about what happened in Ethiopia only, not what foreign forces did, what foreign actors did. What happened in Ethiopia before the fall of Haile Selassie, before the fall of Dergs, before the fall of EPRDF? Atmosphere was conducive. People were ready to die. State forces launched brutal crackdown on people. People refused to give in. They died. And that paved the way for armed groups, for uh, factions in the military to take over. Economic conditions played a key role. If you compare today's Ethiopia, I think people so far have not shown their willingness to die, to confront the government. Economic conditions are not good, but perhaps manageable. Perhaps manageable. That is why people are not out on the streets. Either they are scared or they think that they can make both ends meet. They can survive, and in some respects, this government is better in terms of liberties, in terms of freedoms. This government is better. So these armed groups, I think, fail to realize one important factor, that only by carrying guns, they cannot remove PM Abiy's government. They need to create conditions in the country. Are the conditions favorable? Are people ready to confront this government? No, conditions are not favorable. Uh, these armed groups have not been able to mobilize people. Political parties, opposition parties, they have not been able to mobilize people. They have not been able to create an uprising in the country. Only after an uprising in the country, these armed groups, opposition parties, will be in a position to strike a decisive blow to the Ethiopian PM Abiy's government. So they failed to create the conditions. And it's not that just Ethiopian armed groups are responsible for this failure. Ethiopian opposition, political parties, uh, civil society, public at large, they're not ready. They are not ready to sacrifice for a change. Armed groups are continuing, but they are not in a position to remove the government. Why? Because goings are not in support of them. TPLF hope to remove Abiy's government. TPLF came close to Addis Ababa, but no one rose in support of TPLF in Addis. Imagine TPLF in Shoa and people of Addis are rising in support of TPLF. Abiy would have been removed in a day. Imagine Amhara's rise in Addis today? Can Abiy survive? No, he cannot. Imagine Oromo's rise against Abiy to support Ola. Common Oromos. Can Abiy survive? No, he cannot. Abiy is surviving because general public either scared or not ready. Someone is saying popular uprising always get brutally crushed. Yes, that the blood is the fuel of revolution. When there is no blood, there won't be revolution. So when public uprising is crushed, it's not crushed actually, it paves the way for creation of conditions which weaken the government in power, making way for the entry of new players, armed groups, which then intensify the struggle. So I think that TPLF, Ola, Fano will only be able. I apologize, Shah, for notifications are sent by YouTube. I have nothing, I have no control over it. Sometimes viewers miss notifications. So TPLF, Ola, Fano individually won't be able to remove Abiy. They will have to create allies, first condition, first prerequisite. Second prerequisite is that they need to mobilize people, unarmed people, people who are just ordinary Ethiopians, students, teachers, civil society, women, farmers. All of them will have to be mobilized for a change. And they can only be mobilized if you give them some hope. If you tell them that this is what we'll do for you, this is what we can do better than this government for you. So, any uh, manifesto given by these armed groups so far? No. They're just talking about their ethnic groups. Ola talks about Oromos, Fano talks about Amharas, EPLF talks about the interests of the people of Tigray. No national level manifesto has been given. And that manifesto sometimes is created automatically, especially when people cannot survive economically. When the state repression reaches a level where it becomes unbearable for the people. So I think this is one of the main reasons behind the failure of the Ethiopian armed groups in removing PM Abiy's government. They're only working to train youths, to arm youths. They believe that if they manage to build large manpower, they can remove Abiy. But Abiy is also doing the same. He is building a million army. He is recruiting thousands, tens of thousands of uh, soldiers in every part of Ethiopia. You cannot remove Abiy by just recruiting more, by just buying more weapons. You will have to go to your people. The way people decide that they want to remove Abiy, that enough is enough. Now they're ready to march unarmed, and they are ready to march and protest. That will be the start of the end of this government. And then these Ethiopian armed groups will play a key role. They'll strike the decisive blow if it happens. Now I am finished. I can take your questions, comments. Jacob Jericho says, Sajid, I bet tonight, if not the government, PP YouTubers will definitely include your name among Joar, Zamine, TPLF, Ola. Well, I don't care, by the way. I am not on good term with the government. Thank you, Shafo, for buying the super chat sticker. Uh, I don't care about their perceptions about me. They have never been supportive of my views and news. They've been trying to get it banned. They've been trying to put me off air. They tried their best, these government people. Some of them reported the channel, some opposition groups too, some TPLF supporters too, I remember, some anti-Eritrean, some Eritrean government supporters too, uh, some Fano supporters too in the past. They tried to get me banned. I don't care. But I shared my neutral analysis with you that this is one of the main reasons behind the inability of the Ethiopian armed group. They fail to realize that only by carrying guns, only by training youths, you cannot remove a government. You need more than that. I think I think they're hoping that Abiy will fail economically. This government will fail economically. Uh, I don't think that Abiy's government is going to collapse economically. Why? Because government has managed to get loans. So Abiy can survive. His government can survive now. He can still build big projects. He can still continue food programs as well. The situation has not reached a level where economy is going to collapse. No. IMF, World Bank helping the government, and there are several other factors too. Jamal Hussain joined to welcome Jamal. Finger Bell says, Sajid, you speak as though popular protests have not been attempted. This is unfair. Uh, I am not saying that not a single protest has been attempted, but you need to build a momentum. You need to continue. You need to go on. Uh, a single protest won't be able to bring about any change. I think that Ethiopian politicians like Joar, Ledeto, and others, opposition politicians from different parts of different regions of Ethiopia, they should also realize that they failed to fulfill their responsibility. Their responsibility is to work as opposition. Their responsibility is not that they should just flee the country to just protect themselves. They should not be in politics if they cannot confront this government. If they want to be leaders, they'll have to lead their people. If all of them flee the country, it means that Abiy will rule forever. I think Johar perhaps is better grounded in reality, I think. That is why from day one, since he uh, launched himself against the government a few months ago, he's been busy trying to create an uprising in Ethiopia. All day he shares posts, he shares material. And there's only one purpose behind all the efforts of Jawar. He wants the people to rise. Others are silent. I mean, there is no other uh, uh, politicians, political parties working on organizing, mobilizing people. Stringer Bell says, what role do you think people like Joar can play? I think you're asking. Joar, Ledeto, or Gaidu, others, they can play a big role, I think. They can only play a big role if on some higher level they reach an understanding with armed groups, with opposition parties, maybe with some people in government too, not happy with the government. They need to reach some sort of understanding first. Then they can work. If they work jointly, yes, they can mobilize people, but they have not been able to transcend their ethnic boundaries and barriers. Mamushat Lema joined too, says, I really appreciate you and I enjoyed the way you see things. You're impartial. Thank you, Mamushat. So 33 minutes have passed. I'll end the live chat here. I kept this live chat brief. I would request you to just write in comment section about the topic I chose and the analysis I shared with you. What do you think? I shared my views with you. Now it's your turn to write in comment section. What is the reason behind the failure of Ethiopian armed groups to remove the Prime Minister of Ethiopia? Is it the strength of the Ethiopian Prime Minister? Is it the general economic condition? Is it the failure on the armed group side to realize that the past governments were not changed by just armed struggle? There was more to it than this armed struggle. And they need to perhaps diversify their strategy. Thanks for watching, viewers. I'll be back tomorrow for the second live of the week. Hopefully, we'll have a new topic which will try to speak on from a different angle. Looking forward to see you tomorrow as well with your questions and comments. But do write comments under this live chat. What do you think? What is the reason behind the failure of the armed groups to change the government? Thanks for watching. Stay blessed. Bye bye.